This is an illustrator in 12-step recovery. I've been doing a series of drawings, hoping to call attention to the early writings of Alcoholics Anonymous in what they call the Big Book, written by Bill Wilson in the late 1930s, and to assist me to understand correctly what his words meant. I've been using a 1934 dictionary because that's contemporary to him and his writing and his education. There are 12 steps, but there also are 12 traditions, and those actually were written evidently later. There's a book called The 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, published in 1952, which Bill did contribute to. Other people were involved as well. And I wanted to go ahead, since Webster's only published its authoritative unabridged dictionaries every 30 years or so. This was the most current one when the traditions were written, and so I'm just going to go ahead and use that definition for now. The seventh tradition said every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. That seems fairly straightforward. Self-supporting was defined as having a singularity in holding up or in position. Singularity means there are not two, there are not three, not four, not five, there's just one. So having a singularity in holding up or in position, that might mean, well, I decided to make a drawing where there's a fella whose entire fate is held up by one single rope, which he evidently is holding the other end of. And it looks like he's got a good tight grip on it, understandably so, because he's evidently pretty high up on a skyscraper. The 1930s, when Bill Wilson lived in New York City, was the golden age of skyscrapers in New York, and that's when it was beginning. And this fella has gotten a job going on the outside of these skyscrapers and washing the windows, and by his approach, he's entrusting his life to this single rope and his courage and concentration in making sure that it doesn't slip, because he would die. So that's my sort of nod to the fact that people in the 30s, especially the people working on high-rise buildings, did seem to have an extraordinary sense of courage and self-confidence. But it also is a good illustration of someone who only has one means of support, figuratively and literally. You can always see more at TwelveDrawings.com. Thanks so much for listening.